Today we talk product and we are specifically going to speak to you about handbags. Now, I know most probably it was a honey handbag that really pulled you in to have a look at the product. And most probably that would be the reason of that interaction with the product that you actually decided to sign up. Now, what I want to do today is I want to share with you some features or some things that you need to know when selling a honey handbag. We always want to make sure that every single one of our products, as they go out, they are packaged not only for protection in the period that it takes to arrive from head office to the client, but also for future and further use. And very often, the first mistake clients make, and remember, you and I are a client as well, is we get rid of all the packaging material. And then the question is, what is it that we do to our product? So the aim of today's session is really to look at all these packaging material and to really get to know not only our product, but how to take care of our product. Let's first of all look at a handbag as it would appear in a catalog. Now, first of all, you know that every product has got its own unique code. And when your leader places your order and she punches 882894 into her app, this handbag will be ready for order. But before you place the order, there's some items or some things that you need to know to help you to make sure that your client is aware of exactly what she buys. Now, in our description, we will use different words to help you understand not only the design of the product, but also the way that it's put together. Amethyst embossed mock croc. Okay, amethyst, obviously I can see that refers to the color. Embossed means that it's not a flat surface, there's texture on it. And then mock croc refers to the look. I can see this looks like it is a crocodile inspired product. Now the use of the word PU at the end is to show that this is not a real crocodile. Okay, so this is a PU, which is polyurethane, and that is the highest quality of material that one can use to create a handbag that is not made of full leather. Now, furthermore, when I go back to my description, I see that it's got gold-plated hardware. That means the clips and all the studs is gold. It tells me it's got a nylon zip closure. Okay, now I know the handbag is not going to flare open. I can see that it is fully lined. Now, that is an important part of a stylish handbag. People love a handbag to be lined. I see that it's got an inner side pocket with a zip. Okay, so that tells me there's that little place where I can maybe put my lipstick in. And it comes with a protective dust cover. It also has got a removable shoulder strap. Now, this is the best part that I love about our handbags. If you would like to carry this handbag just slightly over your wrist and you don't like the hanging of a floppy strap, you would be able to disconnect the strap from the handbag. If you love to carry your handbag over your shoulder, you've got the strap available. So it gives you versatility to decide if you want the strap on or off. The second thing, or the next thing that we need to look at is the size of the handbag. Now, I think just a hot tip here is maybe get yourself a measuring tape so that you can support your client with understanding the actual size of the handbag. I can see the width, the height, and the depth of this handbag, which means that if my client comes and says sometimes they would want to know, can my tablet fit in there? Can my laptop fit in there? Can I fit a Bible in there? We have got measurements that helps us to make that educated guess. Now, what I do is I use a ballpark figure, the length of a ruler, to help me understand the size of a handbag. Now, if I take my ruler, and maybe I want you to do that right now, I want you to take a ruler and see that your ruler is 30 centimeters. That means this specific handbag is 1 centimeter smaller than a ruler. I can also see the height is 16 centimeters, which is about half the size of the ruler. And I want you to take your hand and put your thumb on the one side and maybe your forefinger on the other side and see what is the size of the stretch of your hand. And most of the times, a normal person's hand will stretch to about half that size of the ruler. So that gives you already an idea of the height of the handbag. And obviously the depth of it is, in this instance, then 11 centimeter. But if you familiarize yourself a little bit about the size of a ruler and how large your hand can stretch open, it does give you an idea. So in our catalogs, you will also see what we try to do is we try to give you a side view. So you'll see there's always a smaller little picture which gives you the side view, and you will get a back view if it is distinctly different to the front. Now, what I love about our honey handbags is the fact that they are so stylishly put together with so much thought. And if I can just point out to you at this point is the hardware. The hardware is not covered with plastic. It is plated. It is a proper high quality metal that is plated with gold. So that means it's not going to lose its coloring. It is not going to start peeling. And that is part of our brand, as we want to make sure that your handbag can last you for many, many years. So always make sure that you look at the size of the handbag and that you take careful notice of the size of the bag that your client is ordering, and also to remember what her preference size is. We spoke about this in a previous session. I don't want to deliver her a handbag and then she says, oh, but it's so small. I don't like small handbags. So taking note of the size up front so that you can understand it, the size of the bag, as well as when she places an order to go back and have a look. Remember, on our cell phones, we have saved S, M, and L so that I can remember if a client sends me an order, is she a small handbag, a medium handbag, or a large handbag type? Because that helps me to give a good service and right away. Or I can go back to her and say, this is much smaller handbag than what you would prefer. Let's look at something different. Now, something to know when you unpack your handbag is that when your handbag arrives, it has been shipped and it has been packed in a box most of the time. So I prefer to not check for quality before I deliver to my client, just purely because I have to break the whole packaging, and my client might feel that she receives an opened product. Now, this is open for interpretation. If I send an item to a client, if I want to send a handbag to my sister in Cape Town, I'm going to make sure I check it. But I've also discussed it with her and I said, listen, I'm going to open your bag. I'm going to check it to make sure, because I don't want to send her something and then there is a factory default. However, if I can deliver to my client directly, depending on the type of client that I have, I want to make sure that she receives an item that is fully intact. So when I arrive at my client, I want to make sure that I now check it. I go through all the various parts of my handbag and I make sure that everything is intact. And you will see that the handbag arrives in the dust cover. Most of the time it will have packaging on the inside to make sure it doesn't go completely flat. And all your hardware parts have been wrapped with plastic. So at that point, I usually ask my client, do you want to unwrap it? Do you want me to handle it? Because some clients just love to just pull all those pieces apart from their product. If the handbag at this stage is slightly distorted in shape, what you do, and we always call this iron your handbag, is just pull that packaging that is already on the inside and fluff it out a little bit, and then put the handbag for about 10 to 20 minutes outside in direct sunlight. That will help the handbag to mold back to its original shape, and all those little wrinkles are out. Now, wearing your handbag, the most exciting part of it all. And I always say to my client, whenever you wear your handbag, I would love to have a photo. I think it's the most important part of your handbag is capturing it on a photo. Because when my client sends me these, I can always use this for stories to tell on my social media. I can use it for references for other clients, because sometimes a client just say, I would really like to see what it looks on if somebody holds it. And I can then just pluck it out of my phone and show her what that item looks like when somebody is wearing it. When I take care of my handbag, I think this is also very important. I'm very aware of putting my handbag down on the floor. It does scratch, not immediately, but over time. Remember, the if you handle it carefully, it will last a lot longer. But some people toss their handbag and just put it down on the floor. All those things takes strain on your handbag. One thing that I also know, especially like a handbag like this one in the picture, it tends to be a little bit bigger. And then what happens, people can very easily overload their handbag. So I always make sure when I sell a larger handbag to my client that I remind her that the size of it doesn't mean she needs to add the kitchen sink. Because what do people carry in their handbags today? First of all, a big bottle of water, lunch, sometimes even their laptop. So I always make sure that upfront I have the conversation with my client about how much she is going to load into the handbag. So let's get back to our dust cover. Obviously, we will pull off all the protective parts from the handbag, but I do suggest to my clients that when they get home, especially if they use their handbag and they change their handbag with every outfit, I fold up my dust cover and I put it in the corner inside my handbag so that when I'm done with it today or maybe tomorrow, I've got the dust cover readily available and I can put my handbag back into that. That keeps my handbags, especially because I stack them next to each other, keeps from pressing on top of each other. Or sometimes when we have something that lies against it, it makes an imprint. So do make sure that you teach your client the proper use of her dust cover. Let's quickly have a look at our care and guarantee on our product. What does this mean? We have got a 28-day guarantee on every single one of our products. And we believe so empathetically about in our product that we accept full responsibility for our quality. In terms of our guarantee, Honey will replace any item that manifests a defect in material or workmanship within the quality guarantee period of 28 days after purchase. And it is important that you not only know this, but that you also tell this to your client. I also prefer to suggest to your client to not wait for using this handbag. Sometimes people buy an item and they keep it in their cupboard for 6 months before they use it, and then they pick up a quality guarantee. So I always challenge my client to make use of their product in the first days just to make sure there is no quality problems. The key part inside of delivering our product to our client is to make sure that I discuss the care points with my client for the product that she receives. If I deliver a handbag, I'm not going to talk to her about earring cleaning. Okay. So I always say that handbags should be wiped down with a clean, soft, damp cloth. Removing residue from your handbag daily will help for it not to stain or to create sticky stains onto my item. And that will really prolong the life of my item. So I hope that you are not only loving your honey handbag, but with confidence you would be selling that going forward. Remember, the aim of our training sessions is to help you to give information. If you have information, you would be more confident, and confident agents sells more than anyone else. And we know that selling increases your income, and that helps you to change your lifestyle. My name is Corneru. I'm your Destiny Mentor, and I'm signing off and wishing you a happy handbag day.